Sairam. In the history of independent India, there have been only two field marshals ever. The first, General Sam Manekshaw, also called General Sam Bahadur, and the second, General K.M. Cariappa. While General Manekshaw was made Field Marshal in 1973, General Cariappa was made Field Marshal in 1986. Now this is despite the fact that General Cariappa is about 15 years elder to General Manekshaw. Now before we get into that, who is a Field Marshal? The Field Marshal is the highest ever position that one can achieve in the Indian Armed Forces. It is not given out easily, as evident from the fact that there have been only two so far, and it's a 5-star position. They remain officers, serving officers all through their life till their very end, and that is the distinction that these two gentlemen have achieved. Apart from being field marshals, there are many things that are in common between General Manekshaw and General Cariappa. Undoubtedly, both have been extremely brave and courageous. They have faced many battles and wars in their career, in their tenure, and even after their active career. They have been wonderful leader of men. They have been inspirational personalities, have inspired books, and have inspired thousands of people who have written about them. They also have postage stamps that have been issued specially to commemorate them. But the one thing they have in common that attracted me, of course, is that they are ardent devotees of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Yes, both these field marshals, the only two field marshals that India has ever had so far, this is 2024 that I am speaking in, both have been ardent devotees of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. You know, when I was a student in Swami's college, I had heard that in 1971, when the India-Pakistan war was on, that time Field Marshal Manekshaw, at that time he was just General Manekshaw, Admiral Nanda, and the Air Chief Marshal O.P. Mehra, they had come to Swami to seek his guidance and blessings. This was just what I had heard, and that is why I tried to confirm. I tried to search everywhere on the internet. Well, I know for sure that Air Chief Marshal O.P. Mehra is a devotee of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. He has written articles about it and he has shared many of his experiences. In fact, there is one very interesting video about his life experiences with Swami that I have made, which is present at this link above. You can have a look at that. I'm sure you will find them thrilling to your heart. As I scoured for the internet for any instance of meeting between General Manekshaw and Swami, I came across an article written by Major General Eustace D'Souza, who happened to be alongside General Manekshaw in many battles and many wars. Now he has written a piece, a eulogy piece that appeared in many major Indian newspapers, and what stood out again in this eulogy piece is in the middle of different paragraphs, suddenly he writes that Sam Manekshaw was a great believer of Sathya Sai Baba. So that was the proof that I had been searching for, just because it is important from a worldly point of view. But then, yes, when I was a student there, as I said, I heard many instances of this. But then when it came to General Cariappa, well, here is a photograph of General Cariappa with Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and there are many instances where General Cariappa's name appears in the Sanatana Sarathi archives because he was a regular visitor to Swami's ashram in Brindavan, Kadugudi, that is in Bangalore. Now, when I look at the few instances that are there of General Cariappa, I was very keen to know how is it that he came to Swami. Unfortunately, I could not get the exact story of how he came to Swami, and I hope that this video will arouse interest, and those who have awareness of how he came to Swami will share it in the comments and possibly reach out to me, and we can document that part of the Sai Bhagavatam as well. But as of now, I will share a few instances that I have been able to gather on General Cariappa and Swami that shows us one important message, and that is goodness and God attract each other. Goodness attracts God to itself, and God attracts goodness to himself or herself. That becomes very evident from the few experiences of General Cariappa. Let me start off with an incident that I heard from a revered teacher of mine, Dr. T. Ravi Kumar, who was my chemistry lecturer when I studied at Brindavan campus, Bangalore, of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. It was sometime in the late 1980s or possibly the early 1990s, 1990 or 1991. At this point in time, General Cariappa himself was in his 90s, and of course with the age there were some ailments that he was suffering from, and yet he was keen to come and have Swami's darshan as much as he could whenever possibly, especially when Swami is in Bangalore, because it is in Bangalore that General Cariappa also used to stay. So on that occasion, when he drove and came to Brindavan, Swami asked for his car to be brought into Trai Brindavan itself, that is Swami's residence. And there, something that I have not heard of so far happened. What was it? Swami wanted to bless the general with an interview, and seeing his advanced age, what Swami did was he descended down the steps of Trai Brindavan, came up to the general's car, opened the door, got in, and inside the general's car, inside the Field Marshal's car, Swami granted an interview. And that is the kind of love and affection that Swami had for General Cariappa. That is the kind of love and affection even General Cariappa had for Swami. All the teachers and all the other elders who have seen the interactions between Swami and General Cariappa say that there was so much of affection, so much of love always between the short Swami and the tall General Cariappa. Winning Swami's affection, winning God's love is possible only with good conduct, a sterling character. It is only a good character and virtues in us that attracts God to us. Goodness, Gunamulu, Swami would say. And General Cariappa was replete with so many virtues and good qualities. In fact, there is a legendary story about General Cariappa which has to be told. This happened during the 1965 war, India-Pakistan war. His son, that is Air Marshal Nanda Cariappa, was leading a squadron of the Indian Air Force flights, and they were bombing Pakistani territory when his aircraft got shot down and the son became a prisoner of war. Now, the Pakistani forces were excited to get such a high profile prisoner of war. Then what happened was General Cariappa had actually retired from active duty based on his age. He is born in 1899. He joined the army in 1919. He fought in both the world wars, and 1965 he had just retired. He served till 1953. So he got a call from Pakistan's Field Marshal, that is General Ayub Khan. Now General Ayub Khan had been colleagues with General Cariappa before the partition of India, before India broke up. India was broken up by the British into India and Pakistan. They were colleagues and they worked together. So he had great respect and admiration for General Cariappa. So he called him up at his home in Madkeri, that is in the Coorg district of Karnataka. He called him and he said, "Your son is a prisoner of war here, and out of admiration and respect for who you are, we shall release him in all safety and honors." You know what was General Cariappa's response to that? It was very brief and short, and he said, "I thank you for the offer, but let me tell you, all the prisoners of war there are my sons. Treat them all equally with the respect as per the Geneva Convention. I don't expect anything more or anything less." He did not seek special treatment for his own son, and he considered everyone as his children. That feeling of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This one incident that is recorded in multiple places was enough to make me understand why he held such a special place in Swami's heart. Because the ultimate message that Swami has come to teach us is that we are all divine, we are all part of the same family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Purity leads to unity, leads to divinity. And General Cariappa was an excellent practitioner of this teaching. No wonder he had such a special place in Swami's heart. General Cariappa was a regular speaker during the summer courses in Indian culture and spirituality that Swami held in 1973, 1974, even 1976, a special summer course that was held in Ooty. That is the time when Swami materialized a medallion with the map of India with different centers, and Swami said that one of my students will be heading each of these 18 centers. That's a different story in itself. But even in that summer course, General Cariappa had been invited as a guest to deliver his talks, and everyone who had the chance to attend his talks say how inspiring he was. He motivated them, he charged them with patriotism, nationalism, and the desire to serve Swami, because serving Swami and being true to his teachings is equivalent to serving Dharma. He would always say, protect Dharma, fight for Dharma, be warriors for Dharma. In fact, he would always end his speeches by saying, Jai Sai Dharma, Jai Sai Dharma. Not only would he say that, he would make all the students also chant aloud. And so loud, even at that advanced age, his voice was so loud and strong that Swami would often hold competitions. He will ask 30 students to say Jai Bharat or Jai Hind. Okay, and on the other side, he will make General Cariappa say Jai Bharat and Jai Hind, and most of the times the single general's voice will overpower the 30-40 students' voice in saying Jai Bharat and Jai Hind. And this was not restricted just to the boys' campuses of Prashantinilayam and Brindavan. Even in Anantapur, Swami, when he travelled to Anantapur, he would take General Cariappa along with him to deliver talks to his girls as well. Swami has always commanded reverence, respect and awe from all kinds of people in the world. But there are very few people whom he has given so much reverence and respect. And one of them is General Cariappa. On one occasion, Swami had promised Dr. Padmanabhan, the dentist who had the great privilege of being with Swami, walking behind him for many years, collecting letters and serving Swami at a physical level from such close quarters. He had promised Dr. Padmanabhan that he would come to their home for dinner. Now this incident has been narrated by Mrs. Geeta Mohan Ram, the daughter of Dr. Padmanabhan. At that point in time when Swami promised to come to their home for dinner, there was General Cariappa who said, Swami, you should also come to my home for high tea. Now, because dinner was already booked, he said, Swami, come home for high tea. Swami said, of course, certainly, I shall come to your home. What time is high tea? And he said, Swami, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Not a minute later, not a minute earlier. Now, that was his discipline. Everything he did with clockwork precision. And Swami then told Dr. Padmanabhan that, before we go to your home, let's go to General Cariappa's home. He has invited both of us. Let's have high tea there and then we shall go to your home. The next day, in fact, when Swami said, are we ready? Shall we leave? He said, yes, Swami. Do you know the route? Yes, Swami. Not only do I know the route, I have even practiced it yesterday. So, Swami also asked little Mrs. Geeta Mohan Ram at that time, she was 8 or 9 years old, to also get into the car. So, the three of them, they started going towards General Cariappa's house. And because he had practiced the previous day, Dr. Padmanabhan, who was at the wheel of the car, ensured that Swami reached the home 10 minutes earlier. By 4:50 itself they were there. Swami said, no, we can't go in. Amazing, right? The kind of respect and regard Swami is giving General Cariappa. Swami said, no, we can't go in now. We'll have to go in only at sharp 5 o'clock. So, let's just drive around the blocks over here and spend the time so that we can come here at 5 o'clock. And Dr. Padmanabhan agreed and they started going around. After 5 or 6 minutes, Swami said, okay, I think now it's fine. Let's get back to General Cariappa's house. Now, Dr. Padmanabhan was lost. He said, Swami, I don't know, Swami, you told turn left here, turn right here and we have turned it. I don't know. And he's looking out, there were no signs, there was no Google Maps or there were no Apple Maps, no maps, no apps those days. He's just not able to find the route. And Swami smiles and says, no, don't worry, I know the route. And Swami guides him and perfectly half a minute before 5 p.m. they are there at the door of General Cariappa's home. And how can Swami not know the route to any person's house, especially a devotee's house? Swami always knows the way to a devotee's house because he is the resident of the devotee's heart. How can he not find the way? That is how they arrived there. And Swami, again, so strictly adhering to all the norms. Swami told this little girl, no, you have not been invited actually. It's only 2 of us, right? So you sit here outside in the veranda. I will send some biscuits for you. You can have it here. We both shall go in, have high tea and come. And that's what happened. And about half an hour later, the general also came out and all of them got into the car and they began to move on. This was a beautiful incident that I got about General Cariappa and Swami, and it just made me wonder as to what a noble and great and wonderful being General Cariappa is, because he won the admiration, respect and reverence of the avatar of the age himself. Concluding with the point with which I began, dear brothers and sisters, goodness is the surest way to attract godliness. In fact, I remember an incident narrated by Brother Indreshwar Singh Sirohi. When he was to get married, he told Swami that, Swami, I want to marry only a devotee girl. I don't want to marry anybody else, because Swami, you are the most important in my life. And Swami said, don't worry and don't search for a devotee girl. Just search for a girl with good character. Then her goodness will automatically get attracted to my godliness. Well, just to break the suspense, that's what actually happened. The girl whom he got married to, the lady whom he got married to, was not a devotee to start off with. But when I met him later, he confessed that now she is a much better devotee of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba than me. That is the power of goodness, and the life of General Cariappa, the way he led it, and whatever brief instances that are there on record for us to enjoy, teach us the power of this goodness. May we become more and more noble. May we inculcate this goodness in our heart. And dear Swami, may the love that we have for you in our heart keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.